Texans fans, don't feel sorry for the Ravens.
I would be so
Don't know what's going on, but let's go ahead and start this show over. One more again, one more again, one more again. Texas fans, don't feel sorry for the Ravens.
I would be so
Hey, that doesn't look good. I don't like that. Let's do that. What's going on, y'all? Fix this screen. You tune into the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. Make sure you're reading. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you read my articles on www.bigsargemedia.com. Hey, look, so before I even get started, y'all, I'm laughing at myself. I'm laughing at myself because one of my really good friends, Kelly Eco, one of my really good friends, Kelly Eco, was got a job, a national job at you should do hold on one second, Illy Woogie. One of my friends, Kelly Eco, who covers the Houston Rockets, but has gotten a job. He used to work at the Athletic, New York Times, but he got promoted from he went from being a regional reporter to a national reporter. Now he's a national reporter for the Yahoo, right? And so it's crazy because he showed up. Don't feel sorry. Hold on, y'all, for the Ravens. I got to get my TikTok family in here too. Y'all give me a second. So Kelly showed up to Rockets Media Day, right? Mind you now, like I said, Kelly just got a job. Kelly just got a job with Yahoo as a national reporter. And he shows up to the media day with the Yahoo hat on. And I'm looking at him and I'm saying to myself, Kelly, is that a Yahoo hat? And I'm looking like big purple letters, Yahoo. And so the whole thing I could just think about was some of y'all are too young to remember this, but Yahoo used to do a thing where they used to be like Yahoo, right? And so I just kept doing like I could not help myself. Yahoo. So that's what I was thinking about when when I came onto the show. Just had that in the back of my mind. What's going on, TikTok family? Glad you all could join us on today. And like I said, um, the Texans Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host. Welcome to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. And I have Texans fans. Don't feel sorry for the Ravens. We'll get into that in just a minute. But I want to say something, right? I want to say something. Give me a second. Drink my Starbucks. I want to say this. Let me timestamp this. Timestamp at 5:32. I want to say something to the haters out there, right? Because I had a brief back and forth with a young man that I know. I've only met him maybe 2 times in my lifetime, right? Only 2 times out at the Texans training camp. So I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to give him any shine, not on this show. And I ended up blocking him, which I probably should have done a long time ago. I started out just muting him, but I ended up blocking him because I made a post. And then he came on my post asking me about the post. And when I started explaining it to him, I think the post was about, and something that we'll talk about here in just a second. So, the Houston Texans traded Cam Robinson this week. And so I made I think I made a post that said I could see that coming. And he said, "How could you see that coming?" I said, "Well, I watched him in training camp, but I also talked to people who were familiar with him that covered him in that were familiar with him in Jacksonville, and I talked to players who played with him in Minnesota, and I was like, I could just see it coming because he didn't have the best of track records." And so the young man asked me about it, so of course, I responded, and then him and some of the other people who support him and some of the other people who support me started having a back and forth, and somebody's like, "You just jealous of Sarge," or whatever the case may be, because he said, and he responded with, "Well, Sarge always likes to throw his access around," right? And which is, I'm gonna be honest with you, and like right now there's some people who's going to be watching this show anonymously, and so if I'm talking to you, and if it hits you and it hurts you, just say ouch. But if you can't say ouch, say amen. So one of the talking points on this certain this certain conglomerate of people who don't like Sarge, right? For the people who don't like Sarge, who can't keep Sarge out of their mouth, who can't keep Sarge out of their topics. Like, if you're gonna do what you're gonna do, just do what you're gonna do. What's going on, Darius? Just do what you do, right? Don't make me the topic of any of your subjects, because like some of you all I barely know personally. All the rest of you all have just been voices on spaces, or just algorithm. I just seen you on the algorithm. But he hit one of the talking points, like Sarge always likes to throw his access around. Well, let me tell you something, young man, because I know you, and you don't know that I know your personal business, and I know why you left pursuing your media dream. Like, I know the real behind the scene reasons on why you left, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to be that petty to put that type of stuff out, because then I would have to care. So I muted you, and then I just blocked you. But one of these talking points about Sarge always, trying to throw his access around. I'm not always trying to throw it around, but god damn it, I worked very hard for it. I think that I'm past that YouTube threshold. Hey, good morning, Alexis. Um, I work damn hard to get this access. Some of you all don't know. So let me tell you like this. When I first started out in this business, I was double dutching to get an opportunity to speak on the mic with 8 other guys in a studio. Like it was 8 of us in a studio. And you know how hard it is to try to get your takes off in a studio with 7 other guys in there. So, I was just like I just played my part. Ended up having my own show on multiple occasions, and even in that studio, I on that station I had 2 shows, as a matter of fact, on that station at one time. But not only that, I started out holding the camera for my good friend Michael Tula, who's probably watching this as well. But I started out holding the camera for my good friend Michael Tula, and we did a recap. My very first interaction with sports, as far as in person and being on the field. I think the first game we went to was TCU versus the University of Texas. And then some of you, I remember when Patrick Mahomes last year at Texas Tech, they played Baylor at Jerry's World at AT&T Stadium. And there's a picture of me out there. Had to be 2017, I think it was 2016, 2017, one of them, that has me, standing on the field, because that's the first time I'd ever been on Cowboys, on the Cowboys field. And I was just happy. But I worked from double dutching to get on the mic to give a sports take, to holding the camera for my good friend Tula to do the post game videos, to where I'm at now. To where I'm at now. Seasoned credential media member, seasoned, not just credential, seasoned, meaning that my credential is plastic. I don't have to apply every week for a credential. To a seasoned credential media member for the Houston Texans. On Tuesday, I picked up my seasoned credential, the plastic credential, for the Houston Rockets. Nobody gave me this shit. I worked hard for it. I worked hard. I worked hard to get to where I'm at. And I work even harder. That's what y'all don't understand. I work even harder in order to keep it. Like, that's what you all don't see. I'm gonna give you a prime example. On Tuesday, I got up at like 4 in the morning because my wife and I go to the gym on Tuesday and Thursdays during the week, and then Saturday and Sundays on the weekend. But I got up at 4, went to the gym, came back from the gym, took a shower, changed clothes, hopped in the truck, went over and parked in the parking lot of J.P. Henderson Elementary School as I waited for Wade Smith and 3 other Texans players, to include Tim Settle Jr. and Jamal Hill, as they did the reading with the pro. I'm sitting in the parking lot, early because I didn't want to fight traffic, but I'm sitting there putting out content, falling asleep, waking up, going to the event, leave that event, go directly over to Houston Rockets had their first training camp practice that the media was allowed to attend. So I was over there, left from there, came home, wrote multiple articles, put out multiple content, went to sleep, finally got right back up this morning. Jim, doing this show. Once I get off this show, I have to go to Texans. I got to do articles for the Rockets, and I even have to attend. The Texans got a fan council meeting. I'm one of the media members that's on the fan council. So I'm gonna be there. So my day won't end until tonight. Also, on top of that, I have to do a lot of work. So, and I'm not here asking nobody to give me no I'm not here asking for no sympathy, no empathy, none of that. All I'm telling you is that, you know, in order to get where I'm at, in order to maintain where I'm at, you got to work damn hard. And some of you all are too lazy. I hate those I used to be guys. Well, I used to be this and I'm not here anymore. Okay, so cool. If you used to be some shit and now you're not anymore, then just move on. Don't sit around and criticize talking about, oh, well, I used to do it so I could blah, 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 but you're not doing it anymore. Or those ones that, oh, I can just do that job, then do it. Listen, let me tell you something. I got into this business. I don't have a radio and television degree. I don't have a journalism degree. My degree is in business information systems. But you know what got me to this point? Hard work and dedication. Somebody tried to say, "Oh, well, if it wasn't for Kyle and Hannah, you wouldn't even have this. You wouldn't even be able to cover the Texans." Okay, so if you take away that, then what about the Astros? Because they used to cover them as well. Season. What about the Rockets? I just laugh. I just laugh. I just laugh because it's these used to be guys. I used to do this, or I could do this if I wanted to. No, you could. No, you could not. Because if you could do it, you do it. Because if you could do it, you do it, but you can't. So I just want to make sure that I told those guys out there, those haters out there, I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. Because the one thing that I do, I don't know you in, like, I don't interact with you on a consistent basis in real life. I only communicate with you through social media. And what have I always told y'all? You control your own social media. You control that. You control your own social media. So you control what you see on your algorithm. So you know what I do? People's like, oh, that's just weak. You go and you block people. No, that's not weak, that's strong because I know how to control my own mental health and my time. You think I got time to go back and forth with these dudes on social media? I don't have the time. I just told you how my days are, especially now since the Rockets and the Texans are in season together. Look, in not three now it's 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, the Houston Texans will play the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football, like at 9 p.m. that their time, right? So I will be in Seattle covering that game. Tuesday morning, I get up bright and early and fly from Seattle into Oklahoma City because the Houston Rockets' first game is against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Y'all ain't really willing to put in that work. Hell, you sit on Spaces for 3 hours a day. If you use that time on Spaces, you'll be able to do what you need to do. Put that towards your media dreams. I digress. Had to get that up off my chest because this young man, I covered Super Bowls and blah 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 blah. Boy, you barely can get into the building on a training camp day. I mean, Sarge ain't doing nothing that I haven't done. Actually, I am. I'm doing way more than you've ever done in your entire career. And last thing I want to say about this, the young man who was trying to go back and forth with me, hey, bro, you don't remember that you called me? This had to be 2019. Had to be 2019. Whenever the Houston Texans drafted that offensive lineman that came from Wisconsin and who grew up in Wisconsin, excuse me, I can't remember what year that was. All I remember is that they drafted a young man that came from Wisconsin, and it just so happened that the Houston Texans had a preseason game against the Green Bay Packers, and his family was there, and they wore all white. I can't even remember what that was. And I think was that the year? Was that the year that the Houston Texans traded to Davion Clowney? I'm trying to think. I can't remember. Anyway, it had something to do with Jadeveon Clowney. And you put out a post, and I responded and said, that's not true because what you were saying was not true. And you hit me up in my inbox and said, you hit me up in my, it wasn't a phone call. You hit me up in my inbox and said, hey man, don't do that to me. That discredits me and make people think that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I said, then don't put out bad information. because you're wrong. And what you're saying is wrong. Well, I have people that's associated and affiliated with Jadeveon Clowney. Well, I know Jadeveon Clowney. I talked to Jadeveon Clowney. So there's that. And never forget, my guy, you and I have a mutual friend. Well, he's still my friend. He's not yours anymore. I know all of the information you used to steal and take credit for it. Sheesh. I know all that information that you used to steal from other people when you were having conversations and then put it out like you were an insider. What's going on, y'all? I'm back. I ain't really went nowhere though, goddamn it. I'm still here. Hold on. All right. Once again, welcome to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. But before I start talking about the Texas fans shouldn't feel sorry for the Baltimore Ravens, let me say this, right? So I mentioned earlier that Cam Robinson was traded to the Cleveland Browns, if I'm not mistaken, right? He got traded to the Cleveland Browns. Cam Robinson, offensive lineman, who the Houston Texans signed this past offseason, was traded this week. Last week, 21 trades. Last week, they released safety CJ Gardner-Johnson, who they traded for in the offseason. So now that's back-to-back, right? Sarge woke up on October 1st and chose violence. I listen. I had to tell somebody the other day, Alexis. I was like, it's like, Sarge, don't be petty. I was like, bro, I'm always petty. What you should tell me is try to stay on the other side of petty. Like, I'm petty. And I could be a really, 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 truly, I could be an asshole. I can. I have that in me because there's only certain people that opinions I care about. I digress. So you get Cam Robinson in the offseason, right? You get Cam Robinson, you sign Cam Robinson in the offseason. You trade for CJ Gardner-Johnson. Then in back-to-back weeks, you back-to-back weeks, you get rid of both of those players. Not only that, another free agent that you signed, an offensive lineman, Laken Tomlinson, was only played 20% of the game against the Tennessee Titans. Juice Scruggs got 80% of the snaps. He played 57 total snaps in that game against the Titans this past Sunday. So that's three players, right? Three players that I could think of. It's two in a possible. I don't know how many of you all play spades in here, but that's two in a possible. Two in a possible, right? If you play spades, you know that a possible could be, you know, a jack or a queen that could walk, and you was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that, but that's my possible. Like, I may be able to get this off if I can get these other cards out. But that's two in a possible, right? And we're just going to go ahead and say three. Three off-season acquisitions that general manager Nick Caserio and head coach D'Amico Ryans made that haven't worked out. And so because they haven't worked out, right? Because they haven't worked out, I have a question, right? I have a question. And you don't have to answer it right now. Texas fans, you don't have to answer it right now. You don't. You don't have to answer it right now, right? How much do you trust the organization to make the right moves as far as acquiring talent and free agents moving forward? What's up, Ashy Knuckles? How and I'm asking that question. I'm asking. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm not trying to talk down on anybody as far as the organization is concerned. I'm truly asking Texans fans a question. Because some of these things just aren't working out. Cam Robinson didn't work out, but he was one of your big name offseason acquisitions. CJ Gardner Johnson, Super Bowl winning safety for his former team, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Another big name didn't work out. And now you got Laken Tomlinson, who's probably going to get his position taken by Juice Scruggs, which, if we're being fair, right? If we're being fair, and I got to shoot Nick Casario some bail, I got to shoot Nick Casario some bail on this. I mean, Juice Scruggs should beat out Laken Tomlinson. Actually, I feel like Juice Scruggs should have started from the get go because he is in his third year and he does have, he does have some significant playing time, with the Texans. And he is I think they picked him up in the when did they get Juice Scruggs? Second round? Let me look. Let me look. 70 Juice Scruggs. Yeah, they drafted him in the second round in 2023. So, that one can cancel itself out. That one can cancel itself out with Juice Scruggs taking over for Laken Thompson because Laken Thompson is 33 years old. He's been in the league for 11 years. And this isn't me trying to take a dump or crapping on Laken Tomlinson. Like, he's put in the work. He's been in the league for a very long time. And, like Shaq Mason was with the Houston Texans, sometimes it just doesn't, sometimes it just doesn't pan out. And so I would start Juice Scruggs and make Laken Tomlinson a backup and just go from there. Because we seen that, you pair Scruggs and Ariante Ursery, the rookie out of Minnesota, they don't look too bad together. They do not look bad together. And so, but when you have a rookie that's beating out one of your big name free agent signings in Cam Robinson, and then you can't get CJ Gardner Johnson under control, now what do you do? What do you do? How much can you trust this organization moving forward? And like I said, I'm really asking the question. I'm not trying to take a dump on anybody. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm asking a question. Because if you're going to get rid of two guys that you brought in, that you brought in and that you paid for, right? That you paid for, and one of the guys you gave up, you swapped assets with. I mean, you also, when you traded for CJ Gardner Johnson, you got rid of Kenyon Green, the first round pick here for the Houston Texans that did not work out. It was one of Nick Casario's picks. And to be fair, Lovie Smith really pushed to get Kenyon Green here because Kenyon Green was a hell of a run blocker when he was at Texas A&M. This young man was a consensus two-time All-American when he was at Texas A&M. He just never learned how to pass block. Like, if they would have taught Kenyon Green the right way to pass block, and if he could have stayed healthy, you would have been able to see, I think, that a different Kenyon Green, who was just signed by the Baltimore Ravens practice squad. And so I was just thinking about that. I was like, damn, they got rid of Cam Robinson. And now they got rid of Cam Robinson. That makes two of their offseason acquisitions gone in back-to-back weeks. You have those back-to-back weeks like that, and they're not here anymore. So how much can you trust the organization as far as not acquiring talent in the draft, not acquiring the draft talent, but acquiring the needs for the team? And a lot of people in the chat are talking about, as far as they don't trust Nick Casario and D'Amico Ryan's choosing offensive linemen, and that's fair. That's fair. And the reason why I say that's fair is because we just got through talking about Cam Robinson. We just got through talking about Laken Tomlinson. Ed Ingram has held his own for the most part. He's had his rough spots as well. The Texans brought him in this past off season, and center Jake Andrews, who okay. One of the things that makes Jared Patterson such a good center for the Houston Texans, not only does he have the chemistry with CJ, not only does he have the chemistry with CJ, according to Titus Howard, who played next to him last season when they moved Titus to left guard. Titus says that young man knows what he's doing because Titus has played center before as well. Excuse me. And so Jake Andrews, just to me, it just doesn't look like he is. I don't like. Damn it, Sarge. Just all right. Look, I don't think that the young man is a good football player, and I'm gonna say this from outside looking in perspective. And there was some things that look. There was some things leading up to week 4 when Jake Andrews was playing, and I'm just saying, hey man, this man gonna get CJ killed. This man is gonna get CJ destroyed because it's your job to come to the line and recognize things and be able to call out things. And I was like, yeah, he gonna get CJ killed. And then there was this one play. There was this one play where Jeffrey Simmons, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that they only rushed 3 players on that play. Y'all give me a second. I think they only rushed 3 players. Let me pull this up right quick. I just got to see it, y'all. Here's the sack. I think this is it. All right, and for my TikTok family, you all won't be able to see this, but I'm going to describe it. Let me see if this is the play. Yeah, this is the play. So it was in the first quarter with 6 minutes and 16 seconds left. And let me see. Let me do it this way. So I'm gonna share my screen with my family who's watching me on TikTok and I'm sorry, who's watching me on Twitter and on YouTube. Let me see, where can I? Okay, it's been a minute. Sorry, just been a minute. Nope, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I want to share the screen. And because this is also in podcasting form, I will be explaining what's going on while audibly as the people are being able to see it visually. So this was a first down play, and you could see the down and distance, 2nd and 7 from the Tennessee 32. I want you all to take a look, right? I want you all to take a look right here. The Tennessee Titans are in this formation, they're only bringing 4. Jeffrey Simmons, number 98, is right to the on the right shoulder, of Jake Andrews, in between Jake Andrews and Ed Ingram, the right guard. There's nobody else. There's nobody in front of Titus. And like I said, Jeffrey Simmons is pretty much the only interior because they have 2 players lined up in the wide 9, and then they have 1 defensive tackle in front of Ariante Ursary at left tackle and Ed Ingram. I'm sorry, and Laken Tomlinson at left guard. So Jeffrey Simmons is right over Jake Andrews. Like right there, like he's in his face. Like Jake Andrews can smell Jeffrey Simmons' breath. He's right there. He's right in front of you, and there's nobody else. So now, before I even start, because like I said, it's easy. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. And the one thing that I like to do with my access, the one thing that I like to do with the access that I have to talk with the players is to go back and ask them things about things that I see, right? I want to know, hey man, on this call, was it this, what happened? Like, because on film, this is what it looks like. And I know y'all seen the same thing, but can you walk me through? These are conversations that I have off to the side. Hey, can you walk me through what's going on? Because it doesn't look like, right? So, and this is just me chopping it up with them. So on this play, it is Jake Andrews' responsibility to call out what's going on. Jeffrey Simmons is right over you. Now let's go ahead and run the play. Why? Why are you going to the opposite side of Jeffrey Simmons? I understand what the play call is, but he's right there in front of you. Not only that, you know, we talk about this all the time, and this is a phrase that I stole from Houston Rockets head coach Ime Udoka. KYP, know your personnel. You know that even if the assignment calls for you to block down to the left with Jeffrey Simmons in front of you, there's no way, no possible way that Dalton Schultz is going to get over fast enough, especially if he's not in motion to block Jeffrey Simmons. Not only that, CJ is under center. He's under center. What is that? Do you also think the disconnect comes from them not practicing quarterback being under center a ton? They may not practice being under center a ton, but by the same token, you've been playing this game long enough to know, hey, this is the guy that we've been highlighting on film the entire week. This is the one guy that we know that could disrupt our entire offensive flow. So I know what the call is. Hey, even though I don't practice this a lot, hey, let me change the protection right now because I see that that Titus and Lakin, I'm sorry, Titus and Ed Ingram don't have anybody in front of them. And then even it looks like even if so look, like I said, KYP, let me turn this thing around, right? So as we're watching on Twitter and X, you know that Dalton Schultz isn't going to be able to get over there fast enough. And this may even have been a play where get Dalton out in the flat. So this may not have been Dalton's responsibility now that I'm looking at it. But neither with Jeffrey Simmons being this close to the line and being this close right here over you, Titus Howard, who looks like he's supposed to pull and get over to help, he can't get over fast enough if CJ is under center. And then him and Ed Ingram end up running into each other. But he wouldn't even be able to get over there fast enough. Look at how fast Jeffrey Simmons got there. Now watch this play from the sideline view. Look, this is the young man that you're supposed to be worried about. Let's go from his side. This is the young man right here, number 98. Even if you didn't know his name, you knew number 98 was the disruptor. Watch this. Jake Andrews didn't even look his way. And what I'm saying to you all is if you're supposed to block down, even if you're blocking down this way and you're waiting on Titus to pull to get to number 98, you know he is too fast and too powerful to not have anybody touch him and stop him from getting to CJ. Who he's literally, if he stands up and reach over, he's grabbing CJ. This is your franchise quarterback. So at this point, why aren't you changing the protection? It isn't up to CJ to change this protection because the front that he sees doesn't look like it's supposed to be able to get to him. This is a offensive line. This is a center's call right here. And he should be calling this to stop Jeffrey Simmons, or if none other, alert Ed Ingram to block down quicker, or block down so he could take Jeffrey Simmons. This doesn't make any sense. At the snap of the ball, look, CJ barely has the ball in his hands before. Look at that. Let's look at it from another view. Let's look at it from CJ's view. CJ can't, by the time CJ touches the ball, Jeffrey Simmons is almost in the backfield at that point. Like, it looked like he was the one that was supposed to be giving the ball to CJ. Like, nobody is looking or doing, like, this is a disconnect. And also, hey, look, Cole Popovich is going to have to take care of this, because that is, watch CJ. Look at CJ. CJ like, damn. Watch him again. Like, he couldn't even, there's nothing that he could do. Let's look at it from a sideline view. There's nothing that he could do. Also, I want y'all to see something. Look at this sideline view again. You got Jaden Higgins right here, and you have Nico Collins right here. This looks like Harrison Bryant at the tight end position. It's like Dalton Schultz. I'm going to run this play, because even if Jeffrey Simmons doesn't get to him, I don't know how successful this play is going to be. Looks like it was supposed to be a fake, maybe, and CJ rolls out. Watch this. This is why we do this, and this is why y'all watch it. And like I said, I'm trying to be as audible as I can for the podcast and for my TikTok family. I'm gonna stop it. Y'all notice something? Y'all notice something right here, and I'm talking to the people that are watching this visually. Look right here. Didn't we just have a conversation last week about route concepts? Look at this here. They're damn near about to run into each other. I digressed. They won the game. They still got some issues that they need to address. They won the game. They still have some issues that they have to address. All right. We're about to take a break. When we come back from the break, I'm going to tell you why the Houston Texans team and fans should not feel sorry for the Baltimore Ravens and what they're going through right now. We'll be back.
Hi, Laura Williams coming to you here from Easy Honda. Just want to remind you that this is my new home, and here at Easy Honda, we are here to take care of all your vehicle needs. From new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, we've got what you are looking for. And if you're a business and you're looking for vehicles, we've got a great selection here at our dealership. For any information on getting your next vehicle here at Easy Honda, you can reach me at 281-224-3666. Remember to ask for Laura Williams. We make it easy here at Easy Honda.
Hey, welcome back. You're tuned to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Happy October 1st to everyone. All right. So before I went to the break, I told you that Texas fans, Texas organization, Texas players, hey, do not feel sorry for the Baltimore Ravens and the amount of injuries that they have sustained over the past 2 weeks leading into the week 5 matchup between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, I think they've lost like 6 starters, including quarterback Lamar Jackson with hamstring issues. They've lost a lot of players on the defensive side of the ball. Some of the players that really contribute. I can't think of the defensive tackle's name, but the defensive lineman, excuse me, but I know he's out. He probably out. I think he's out for the season with a neck injury. They lost Marlon Humphreys. They lost Roquan Smith. They lost somebody else. But who really gives a damn? Who gives a damn? Houston Texans can only play who's on their schedule, right? And if the Houston Texans go in here, go into M&T Bank Stadium and they get a win against the the University of Maryland at Baltimore Ravens, so what? So what? So what? And the only reason I'm saying that, right? The only reason I'm saying that is because in 2023, when the Houston Texans weren't fully healthy and they rolled into M&T Bank Stadium in the divisional round of the playoffs, when they didn't have their full arsenal of players, when they didn't have some of their key players or their key weapons on the team, nobody on that Baltimore Ravens team felt sorry for them. They did not give a damn. They said, we play who's on our schedule. We play who comes to the field. Whoever's on the field, that's who we play. They didn't care. They didn't care at all. You think when the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm just talking about the Baltimore Ravens right now because this is the Texas Tailgate Talk Show, and the Baltimore Ravens is the next opponent for the Houston Texans. But when Baltimore play teams that are not fully healthy, they don't care. Not at all. They don't. They do not care. They're playing who, and rightfully so. You can only play who the opponent puts on the field. So, Texans fans, if you all, if the team gets this victory, you all better not talk about, well, if the Ravens were fully healthy. Who gives a damn? You need a win. You need a win. And just like King Kobe said, they beat the brakes off of us in front of Queen Beyonce, and no one cared. They surely did. 31-2. Beat the entire brakes off of you. At the Beyonce Bowl on Chris, I was there. That's my first time seeing Beyonce perform live. That was amazing. Freaking amazing. And then I got a chance to see her. But they still got Derrick Henry. And I'm going to be honest with you. If we keeping it a buck, hold on for a second. Write this down. 48-30. If we keeping it a buck, right? Even fully healthy, this game may have been closer. This game may have been closer than what many people believe to happen. Now, there are some of my colleagues that says that the Houston Texans will never get over the hump of beating the Baltimore Ravens, a fully healthy Baltimore Ravens team. And I'm saying to myself, well, you could say that. You can say that. That's true. The Baltimore Ravens have a lot of talent on their team. The Baltimore Ravens have a lot of talent. And as long as you got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you're always expected to win. The problem is, and what people aren't taking into consideration as far as the 2025 season, as far as the 2025 season is concerned, hey, that Baltimore Ravens defenses look like shit. Let's just keep it a buck. That defense has looked like trash. Like they 1-3. They're 1-3, and they're not just 1-3 due to injuries. They're 1-3 because they looked bad. That defense doesn't look like that defense doesn't look like the Baltimore Ravens defense that everybody's used to seeing. And damn sure ain't what I'm used to seeing. And so somebody says the Texans offense is not there. Is there well enough to beat that ragged ass defense? Just like I said, King Kobe said they're ranked 32nd. Their defense. When is the last time you've heard the Baltimore Ravens defense being ranked last in the league? Like, I know the Texans offense ain't ranked that much high, but the Texans offense ain't ranked last. And if they put some things together, even with a healthy Baltimore Ravens team, they put some things together. Who knows? But that Baltimore Ravens defense has played like shit. I'm gonna say it. Hand over heart, y'all pray for me. Agree on that, but my faith in Texans is not strong. I get it. I understand. I definitely understand. I got that part. I understand that your faith may not be strong in the Houston Texans. But if your faith isn't strong in the Houston Texans offense, please don't tell me that you believe in the Baltimore Ravens defense, because that defense looks like trash. I'm not going to cuss anymore. Hand over heart. It's terrible. And it has been terrible. Let's go look. Y'all give me a second right quick. Give me a second. Let me log into to this right quick. This doesn't have to be visual. I just want to see something. Just give me a chance. Let me see something. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Here we go. Let me go ahead and pull this up. As soon as it loads up. I probably should have done it from my phone, but it's okay. It's going a little slow. Come on now. Hold on. Let me refresh. I guess the loss of Patrick Queen made a big difference. Oh, I forgot they lost Patrick Queen in free agency, right? Here we go. Let's look at let's look at the Baltimore Ravens. All right. So week 1, they played the Buffalo Bills and they lost 41-40. That defense gave up 22 points in the fourth quarter. 22. Hold on, let me look at something. They gave up damn near 500 yards in total offense. 500 yards in total offense. Right? Okay. You say, first of the year, Sarge, first game, you got to work out the jitters and, everything isn't going to look the way that it's supposed to look. All right. They had a bounce back game against the Cleveland Browns, right? Which, by the way, they have a really good defense, but their offense is not good. They beat the Browns 41-17, right? 41-17. They still gave up 322 total yards to the Cleveland Browns, who was led by Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, right? Hold on. You say, all right, Sarge, week 2, 1-1, they're going to get themselves back together. So what do? They roll on over to play the Detroit Lions. Where was this game at? At home. At home. They lost 38-30, gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. 426 total yards given up to the Detroit Lions. All right. Sarge, that's okay, man. They can get better. They roll in and they play Kansas City Chiefs team that has only won one game the entire season. They had only won one game, just like the Ravens had won one game. They only won one game that they really needed, a game that they could use. 382 total yards. 30 gave up 37 points. 37 points, 382 total yards. And who coaches them? Jim or John? John, right? John coaches them, right? John coaches them. John Harbaugh is the coach of the Baltimore Ravens, correct? You got the nerve to say that the Texans could be your get back game with no Lamar Jackson? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Remember what they did to your brother and the Chargers in the playoffs last year? Probably what they're going to do to you. Now, could be one of those games where the Texans offense doesn't show up and they could lose this game. And if the Texans lose this game heading into the bye week, all hell is going to break loose. I'm going to tell you that right now. From the organization, from the fans, from the media, this should be a winnable game if you go into the game healthy. If they can go into the game healthy, this should be a winnable game for the Houston Texans. And you can put an asterisk by it. You can say, who knows what would have happened if everybody was healthy? You know what they always say? I don't know I can say that right now because I don't want to get canceled. So I had to say it in a politically. I can't even say that. God dang, you can't even make jokes these days. Ain't no more jokes. I'll just say it like this. If and buts were candy and nuts, the world would be a better place. Even with a healthy offense, even with a healthy defense, the Baltimore Ravens team does not look like they're AFC contenders. And I think that I was one of the ones who went on record when they lost their second game, when they were, I don't remember, was it after week 2 when I said, even though that they're struggling, week 2, week 3, week 2, no, week 3, after week 3, I said, even though they're struggling, they're one of the teams that you can see, getting back and being at the top of the AFC by the end of the season. I don't think that anymore. I don't think that. I don't. Because their defense, fully healthy, looks bad. Looks bad. And if you think that you're going to roll out a backup quarterback against that Houston Texans defense and be successful, I don't think it's going to happen. You need Lamar. In all honesty, the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens need Lamar Jackson in order to beat the Houston Texans. And if the Houston Texans can find any sort of offensive rhythm, they will be belt to ass to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, y'all know I don't have a team, right? And especially when I'm doing this job, I don't root for anybody. I don't have a team that I root for. Excuse me. And in my fandom, my NFL fandom is currently on hold because after 49 years of being a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, I just couldn't do it this year. I just couldn't. Jerry can't keep selling me. Well, Jerry never sold me on the dream because I'm a realistic Cowboy. I was a realistic Cowboys fan, but all this what he did and the way that he handled the Michael Parsons situation, I'm good. My fandom is on hold, so I don't even have a NFL team that I root for right now. So right now, I'm just watching football. Like I'm watching football now, like I do for work. When I'm watching as a fan, I'm also watching it just like I was at work when I don't have a vested interest in anything. The only time I have a vested interest in a game is if no, not if. The only time I have vested interest in games is when my fantasy football players are playing. That's it. That is the only time. That is the only time this season that I have rooted for a team. And I'm not even rooting for a team, I'm rooting for a player. Like when my player is playing, I'm rooting for them. So if you're on my fantasy football team, then I'm rooting for you to get points. I'm not rooting, I don't care who win the game. I just need you to get points so I can win. And I'm currently 3-1. Should be 4-0, but we're not going to talk about that because yeah, I should be 4-0. I should be undefeated and be able to talk trash to the rest of the league, except my wife. But by the way, y'all pray for this Bearfield household. We play each other this week in fantasy football, and her team hasn't been looking the best. I might just sit all my good players. I may sit my good players just so she can get a victory because I love her that much. Sometimes you got to do those things. When I play my best friend and his wife and his kids, I try to skull drug them. And y'all know, look, side note, let me say this real quick. Let me timestamp this. For those of y'all who play fantasy football, right? Like to me, for me, right? Fantasy football for me is like gambling for other people, right? And I feel like it's like some people don't really realize how much gambling and fantasy football go hand in hand. Because if you're in the right fantasy football league, you can win money, right? If you're in the right fantasy football league, you can win money just like you can gambling. And so a lot of these gamblers are watching these games trying to hit. Okay, now y'all know. Y'all already know. I'm about to say something that may surprise some of y'all. Hey, y'all know I just found out what a parlay was like 2 weeks ago. I don't gamble. I don't gamble. If I make a bet on a game, I just want to talk about, hey, who gonna win the game, who gonna lose the game. Don't give me no points. I'm not giving you no points. Head up, who's gonna win the game? At the end of the game, who got the dub, who got the L? I just found out what a parlay meant as far as betting is concerned. Now I'm saying, what? That sounds like a lot of stress. That's not like a lot. For those of you all who do as far as online gambling and things like that when it comes to these games, like and hey, prize picks. If y'all listening, hey, Big Sarge is a hot commodity, man. And Big Sarge can move and push the needle, especially now that I know what a parlay is and now that I know how to actually read and how some of this gambling, online gambling works. Hey man, Big Sarge could be the perfect spokesperson for Prize Picks, DraftKings, like whoever's out there, MGM, like whoever's out there, um, Carlos, the neighborhood bookie. I digress. Uh, I'm like, what? What? Bye, Alexis. Talk to you soon. Um, but fantasy football is for me. Fantasy football is like how I feel that when people feel when they're gambling. Like you're watching, and if you're trying to hit a parlay, or if you got the over and under, whatever the case may be, you're watching and you're saying, "Hey, man, I'm rooting for this to happen, rooting for that to happen." That's how I be doing. Like, let me give you an example. This past, I'm sorry, 2 days ago, when the New York Jets played, who did the Jets play? Dang, the Dolphins. When the Jets and the Dolphins was playing, Garrett Wilson is on my fantasy football team. I needed Garrett Wilson because I wanted to win. Why does it look like my screen? I'm freezing. I'm lagging. There we go. I needed Garrett Wilson to have not to have a big game, but just produce for me, because if not, I would have lost. And so I'm just like, hey man, throw Garrett Wilson the ball. Hey, why you keep running the ball, Aaron Glenn? Side note, hey, the New York Jets are atrocious. I thought Aaron Glenn was supposed to come in H-Town. I thought he's supposed to come in and clean that up. Maybe it's gonna just take a little while, but they look terrible. I'm like, throw the ball to Aaron Glenn. Throw the Aaron Glenn. Throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. Throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. Throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. And then they did, and I won. But that's how I imagine some of y'all be doing when y'all be doing these online gambling. I'm like, sheesh. I digress. Houston Texans fans, do not let anybody throw the if word to you if the Texans beat the Ravens. Don't let them throw if we were healthy, because they didn't allow you all to say if when things were happening. When you played them and you weren't fully healthy in 2023. They didn't allow you to say if, right? They didn't allow you to say if last season when you lost 31-2 with no Stephon Diggs, and no Tank Dell. They didn't allow you to say that. They didn't. They didn't allow you to say that, because what wasn't by the time what week was that? Hold on. Was Tank? I don't think Tank was in that game. Let me see. 2024 type regular. Let's go look at this game. No, Tank had got hurt 1 week prior. Tank had got hurt 1 week prior. And that, yeah, because they played in week 17, and Tank got hurt week 16 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So last year, when they beat you 31-2, when they won, no, no. Tank has only played since Tank been in the league, they've played the Baltimore Ravens 3 times, and Tank has only played them once. They opened the season in 2023 against the Baltimore Ravens. Tank played in that game. He didn't start, but he played, and they lost. By the time the playoffs came back around again, by the time it was time to play the Baltimore Ravens again in the divisional round of the playoffs in 2023, Tank was hurt. Tank got hurt, week 7 against the Denver Broncos? Tank was out. And last year, when they played him in week 17, Tank got hurt 1 week prior. So no Stephon Diggs, no Tank Dell last year. No Stephon Diggs and no Tank Dell last season. When they played against the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas Day. And you think that the Ravens felt sorry for him? Hell no. The Ravens tried to score as many points as they could, and they tried to beat them as bad as they could. And they didn't give the Texans out and say, oh, well, they didn't have all their full complement of players, and so they probably would have given us a better game. So now I feel like this is your opportunity and your chance, Houston Texans. And Houston Texans fans, if you get the win, hey, if you get the win, talk shit. You should. You should. Talk trash if you win the game. You should. Don't let nobody tell you, well, if we had all our players. No. Because when Texans fans were saying that, when some Texans fans were saying that, those Ravens fans, and I heard them. I was there. I seen the online chatter. You all said, don't use that as an excuse. If I'm the Houston Texans, I'm still keeping the same mindset of we just going to execute what we need to do, go in. We're not worried about who's on the other side. We're just gonna go in and do what we need to do, which I'm pretty sure that's what D'Amico's gonna say when we speak to him on today. But other than that, hell no. I wouldn't. If I was a Texans fan, right? If I was a Texans fan, hey, you know what? You're right. Twisted conversation. You're right. Okay, hold on. Let me put this down. Timestamp this again. Now that I think about it, twisted conversations. Thank you. He said this in the chat about no Ward and no Petrie, right? You're right. I didn't even, I just didn't take into the full complement. I mean, the full totality of the amount of injuries that they suffered. Because last season, before they played the Baltimore Ravens, Stephon Diggs was already hurt. Stephon Diggs was already hurt. Tank got hurt in week 16 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Jimmy Ward got hurt in that same game against the Chiefs. Shaq Mason got hurt that same game against the Chiefs. They lost three starters in that Chiefs game. They were also without Jalen Petrie, who got hurt. Was that week 12? Was that week 12 he got hurt against the Tennessee Titans? So now that you think about it, what's up, Derek? Now that you think about it, yeah, Tay, he did. Damn, he was out too, David? Stayed on his back anyway, though. So Aziz was out too. Hold on, man. Y'all got me doing research this morning. Hold on. Player stats. Yeah. It's right. He is right. Hold on. He's right. Let me go back and look. See, I wasn't prepared to talk about this in totality like this, so I would have probably already had all of that. But thank you all. This is why one of the reasons why I do this show live. Wait, hold on. This is one of the reasons why I do this show live, is because I like being able to talk to the chat, and I also like being able to talk and you all help me out in real time. Let me see. Yeah. Yep. Right. Aziz didn't play that game either. So now you don't have Stephon Diggs. You don't have Tank Dell. You don't have Shaq Mason. You don't have Jimmy Ward. You don't have Jalen Petrie. You don't have Aziz Al-Shahir. Man, y'all gone on somewhere. Gone on somewhere, Ravens fans. Gone on. Gone on, Ravens fans. I don't want to hear that. And I'm not a Texans fan. They know that. Gone on somewhere, Ravens fans. I'm not here to talk shit to you because I'm a Texans fan. I'm here to talk shit to you because I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear who you all don't have. Because in that 31-2 game, you laughed. And you talked so bad about the Houston Texans getting beat in front of Beyonce. You talk so bad about the Houston Texans getting beat on Netflix. Wait, who is that? Is that AJRR? Whoop-de-doo! Yes. 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 You don't have Lamar Jackson? Whoop-de-doo. You don't have Roquan Smith? Whoop-de-doo. You don't have Marlon Humphreys? Whoop-de-doo. It does not matter because you all were not saying that last year when the Queen was singing her Cowboy Carter album on the field. You said, just like we always do, belt to ass to the Houston Texans. You didn't take into consideration how many players they had out. So if I'm a Texans fan, I would say I don't give a damn who y'all got. I don't give a damn if y'all could put the water boy in. You could put the equipment manager in, somebody working ticket sales, somebody who works in the parking lot, someone who works concession, someone who works in the team store, someone who does your community events. You can put John Harbaugh in. It don't matter. Call Ray Lewis back. Hey, Shannon Sharp needs something to do. Go get him. Whoop-de-doo. Like that. He used to come to M&T and whoop that ass. Whoop-de-doo. Huh. Thanks, A.JRRR on the chat. Whoop-de-doo. Robert Sportsnut Winfrey said, I really don't give a damn who they have on the field. Exactly. Whoop-de-doo. Don't matter who you put on that field. Hey, last season, when you played the Texans, they were without a plethora of their players, and you did not give a damn. Y'all was laughing it up, joking it up after the game. Yeah, because it was at NRG Stadium. Y'all was laughing it up, joking it up, talking about how, hey, man, it was good to see Beyonce. We took care of our business. So, if I'm a Texans fan, that's exactly what I would say. Whoop did do. And that we didn't whoop when he was in look, and then we whoop Rush when he was in Dallas. Now he's with the Ravens. Exactly. Isaac Official coming from the TikTok chat. Hey, yeah, they're gonna roll Cooper Rush out there. Cooper Rush don't want no more of. Hold on. Cooper Rush don't want he don't want to see no parts of that Texans defense. Let me see. Last season, the Texans beat the Cowboys 34-10. Cooper Rush had 354 yards passing, but a lot of that came after the Texans were already up 20-10. And they even scored in the fourth. They scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't want to see that. Oh, yeah. 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 Well, that was when Nico Collins came back and he had that 75-yard touchdown pass called back because of Laramie Tunsil's holding penalty. But wait, something happened. Yeah, Derek Stingley had a interception. He should have had more than one. Daniil had 2 sacks in that game. Was Will out that game? Will was out that game. Was that because that was in November? Will got hurt against the. No, this was. Yeah, Will got hurt 2 weeks prior against the Jets, so Will wasn't even in that game. Boy, Cooper Rush, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. Oh no. To take me out the game, but I'm back. All right, I got to get ready to go. TikTok family, I damn sure appreciate it. Did they bench Anderson for shrug and bench Toa for speed? Anderson. Tomlinson? Tomlinson and Juice Scruggs, I talked about that earlier. They shared Juice took the majority of the snaps last week. Toa Toth and Speed also shared. They had more of a balanced snap count than Lakin and Juice. All right, TikTok family, I appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. All right. What new tight end they just signed, Tay? Hold on one second. Oh, hold on for a second. Let me end the show at one. You've been tuned to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube show. YouTube channel, all one word, Texas Tailgate Talk. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you're reading all my articles on bigsargemedia.com. I'm out. All right, now that we got that over with, end of show. What's going on, man? I've been trying to talk to y'all as much as I can. Who they got, Tay? Let me see. Who did they just sign? I don't see nobody they just signed. Let's see, but he must be getting paid by the meat. I've never seen this much meat riding. Whoa. Damn. Steven Nelson just. Sheesh. Steven Nelson just posted, Buddy must be getting paid by D'Amico. I've never seen this much meat riding in my 32 years on Earth. Hashtag Dr. Glaze. Sheesh. That was a direct shot. Lord, good Lord. Good Lord. All right. Brendan Bates. I don't know. I don't even know who they just signed. I haven't seen anything just yet. I've been on here with y'all, Tay, so I have no clue. Hey, can I get back into some of these comments though? Let's see. Exactly. DQ. Hell, they didn't feel sorry for us on Christmas Day, so we want blood. Ill Woogie, what's going on? So this is what I wanted to address. Ill Woogie said you should do an all 22 stream after games. So after the games, I'm actually obligated. I've gotten myself obligated to do a Texans cookout with Chancellor Johnson, DJ BNMA, and Jonathan M. Alexander. There's a Texans cookout, actually a Texas cookout YouTube channel, but we're doing the Texans cookout after the game. So I can't do an all 22. But what I will say is this too. One of the reasons why I don't do an all 22, one of the reasons why I don't do an all 22, and I just go through and I find plays. I just go through and I find plays and we just talk about them. There's too many people doing all 22. There's too many Texans content creators that are doing all 22s, and I don't want to saturate the rest of the market or the rest of the field by doing all 22. That it takes up too much that takes up a lot of time, but I also just don't feel that the supporters of my show and who support my work, I just don't think that another game film breakdown is what you all want, you all need, because it's just entirely too much. But I'm glad you said that though. I'm glad you said that because there's something that I've been wanting to do. I want to show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. And I talk. I'm gonna tell y'all this because it was hilarious. On Tuesday, the Houston Texans players, it was linebacker Jamal Hill, defensive tackle. I can't pronounce his name. He's the international player. Starts with it's Hag. Ooh. I can't pronounce his name, but he's the international player. Uh, what is his name? Starts with the H. Oh. Let me look at it from this side. Why they don't have him on here? He's the international player. He should be. I can't. Where is it? I don't even see. I'm gonna go, but Tim Settle was there too, so I had an opportunity to talk to Tim Settle because and I tweeted this out on Derek Stingley's interception. Right, you go. I went back and I watched that play over and over because I did an article on Derek Stingley, and I talked about that play. And as I was watching that play, there's something that I noticed, and I said, "Oh wow!" I said, "This is the first time I've seen the Texans do something like this before." And so I had an opportunity to talk with Tim Settle about it. On hold on, I had an opportunity to talk with Tim Settle about it. On Had an opportunity to talk to Tim Settle about it on Tuesday. I'm not going to tell you the full conversation, but we laughed about it, and I'm going to tell you why we laughed about it. Because there's something that I don't think that a lot of people noticed um, during this play. So watch Tim Settle. He's right here, number 98. Let me turn it to the end zone. Here's Tim Settle right here. This is Tim Settle. You see him in a 3-point stand. 3-point stand. Now you know that, like I said, this is the interception, the tip pass that was intercepted by Derek Stingley Jr. This is the first time. I'll be honest with you. It's the first time in a long time that I've seen the Houston Texans do this, and it may have had something to do with Matt Burke calling the plays this past week. Like Matt Burke made the defensive play calling. Normally, it's majority D'Amico and Matt Burke has some input, but this week he gave the full play calling duties on the defense side of the ball to Matt Burke. Now watch this. Watch what happens at the snap of the ball. You see where Tim Settle is, right? Now watch Tim Settle now. You see him dropping the coverage? Now what does that do? Even if Ward wants to throw right here to Tyler Lockett, it's kind of different because he doesn't know where Tim is going to be. So he not only he has to be aware now that the defensive lineman has dropped into the path of Tyler Lockett, his line of sight also is going to be affected because Tim is right there. Now, also, it's funny because we know that Cam Ward can probably outrun Tim Settle Jr. Let's not even kid ourselves there. But just the fact that he is not only dropping in to stop this route from happening, he's also spying Cam Ward. And if Cam Ward does get out of the pocket, he's going to affect him a little bit, but he won't affect him a lot. All the while, here's Danielle Hunter. You see what he's doing? Like Danielle Hunter has come up the field. Now watch this move that he makes. There's a lot to be going on these plays that a lot of people don't see. A lot of people don't even break it down on the all 22s. But look at that. You see that swim move? He was going to get him. All the while, look who's being double teamed. Will Anderson. Now, Cam Ward, this is not an option for him anymore. Now he breaks out. Tim sees him breaking out. Now he has to come. And of course, we know, he's going to try to throw a move on Tim. Did you see what Tim is doing? Tim's angle is, Tim's angle is a very good angle, which also probably caused him to throw sidearm and back behind the intended wide receiver. I think it's Amore or something. And then you see all pro Sting, bam, 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 bam. Let's look at this from the sideline view. See that? The way Tim, because now Tim has also confused some of the linemen. But now he says, okay, well, let me go help and hop on that. But look at this cover. This is great coverage all across the board. Because who is that? Is that EJ Speed? Yeah, that is EJ Speed. EJ Speed is dropping into coverage here. I think this is cover 4. Cover 4 with split high safeties. I have to go and look. But watch this. Now, Speed is taking up this area. I think this Kalen Bullock is can come down here. Derek Stingley is playing in his area. They got a man that's open on the backside. But you got to watch because Cam Ward can make that throw. If he gets out and he throws that across his body, wonder where Jalen Petrie was supposed to be. We're going to watch this again. Let's watch it from this way. Look at Tim. And me and Tim laughed about this for a very long time yesterday. So that's all I'm saying. I don't do the all 22s. Because of that. Because I just like going to look at certain plays. I just like looking at certain plays. And Brandon, you're right. It was an open man at the top, but you live with that if he's going to throw back across his body like that. You force him to throw back across his body. By the time he throws back across his body, I feel like Kamari has the ability to still get downhill and make a play. Yeah, but that's what you want. What's up, Mario? But that's what you want him to. Tim is underrated, but that's what you want him to be able to do. You want him to be able to get back. I mean, you want to force him. But I just thought that was an interesting play call. Let me do one more. And then I'm going to get out of here. Because I've also wanted to talk about this one. And once I bring it up, y'all will know why I want to talk about this. Oh, no. Hold on. I have to get this thing. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. So I wrote an article about it, and I think they talked about it at the press conference I wrote an article about it on Sunday. I think they talked about it at the press conference on Monday. This play I'm about to show you is the play that I felt that jump started the Houston Texans offense and got them more comfortable in some of the things that they wanted to do. And I liked the fact that CJ recognized what was going on early. This is coming off of 2 back-to-back penalties that pushed them back 20 yards on 1st and 10, pushed them back 20 yards, and then on second and 30. I'm sorry, on 1st and 30, they lost 3 yards. Woody Marks lost 3 yards. So This is a 2nd and 33 play from the Houston 18. And this is the big catch to Nico Collins. It's the last one I'm gonna show that I'm gonna get up out of here. So you see, right? Let me make it full screen. 2nd and 33 from the Houston 18. And like I said, this was after back-to-back penalties. This was after back-to-back penalties and a 3-yard loss on a run by Woody Marks. And so this is old CJ Stroud. This is what I like. Old CJ Stroud, who recognizes this early, that they're in a cover 4 with split safeties at the top, but still 2 high safeties. But look at what CJ recognizes early on. This safety, instead of moving over towards the sideline, he starts to look. You can see right here, he starts to creep over a little bit towards the middle of the field because of, all of most of the wide receivers are here, except this is Nico Collins. And take a wild guess on who that is right there. Like, let me see. No, it ain't gonna show up from there. It's gonna show up from here. It won't. It's only gonna show up from the sideline. Take a wild guess on who this is right here. Mr. I don't know who Nico Collins is. Mr. Who 2 times when asked about Nico Collins. None other than Tennessee Titans cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. Right here. Matched up 1-on-1 with Nico. CJ recognizes that he is not in position yet. So there's a possibility that he could finally get a big play and something big to Nico Collins. The snap of the ball, CJ recognizes that he is not in good position to get over and to help L'Jarius Sneed on this backside. So this is 1-on-1. Like, hey, this safety is telling him, you on your own, bruh. Hey, be a man of action, not just a man of words. You said who? You disrespect that man. This is 1-on-1 between you two. I'm over here looking at this. See this? CJ recognizes. CJ says, oh no, he's not. Now, sometimes in the past, CJ would have just looked right here and dumped it down to Dalton Schultz. Right? But 2nd and 33, what you got to lose? This is probably a blessing in disguise for them to have this type of down and distance. I'm sorry, this type of distance to gain a first down, because if this is like 2nd and 10, he may have took the check down right here. But look at this. 1-on-1. CJ recognizes. CJ already knows from pre-snap where he's going with the ball. And Nico knows it too. Ain't no playing around. Let's just get to the business. Nico say, ain't no playing around. Let's just get to the work. Here, let's just get to the work, my guy. All that shit you was talking, right? Remember what Nico told you? Hey, man, line that shit up. Here you go. Line it up. 1-on-1. No over-the-top help. You talking all that shit. Here we go. CJ recognizes that. And bam. Look at that. You know, back in the day, when I used to play Madden, I used to tell my boys, hey, man, you beat by alignment. Like, if I seen this play, if I'm playing Madden, and I'm right here, I would easily tell them right now before the ball is even snapped, hey, bro, you beat by alignment. Like, I'm hoping that you got something in your back pocket that's going to change once this ball gets snapped, because once this ball is snapped, you're beat by alignment. 1-on-1, Nico Collins, got you. Look at that. CJ got the ball out of his hands before Nico even had gotten full separation. Line it up, my boy. 37 yards. Let's look at it from the end zone view. From CJ. Watch this. CJ getting good protection. I wish Ed Ingram would have picked up on this stunt a little bit better. Oh, he came back. He got it. Look at that. Look. CJ already knows. At the snap of the ball, he's already looking for Nico. Know what else I like about this? Watch, look, no choppy feet. Just throw it to him, my boy. Look at the separation Nico got already. Look at it from TV view.
The quickness.
Stroud going deep, in stride, caught by Collins. And
okay. Print that t-shirt. Exactly. What's up, Bill? Okay, y'all. I gotta get ready to get up out of here, y'all. But y'all see that? Y'all see that? Hold on, let me read some of these comments. Mario, what's going on? Having Woody in there for consecutive plays and letting him work show what he could do, and was good to see Kaylee. Hold on. Good to see Kaylee not snatch him out after one play. You're right, Tay. King Kobe, he is underrated. All right. Because you my guy, King Kobe. I hope you're still here. King Kobe wants me to do that second Hunter snap. Okay, let me find it. Let me find it. Y'all done got me caught up in doing this. I said I wasn't going to do this. But now that we here, and y'all know Sarge is a man of the people, especially when he got the access, right? The second one. All right. King Kobe, you still here? I wish Nico could have stayed in bounds to put a tutty on that boy. Hey, you're right, Ville. Me too. Hey, Ville. Hey, because Ville is he's my frat brother. He helped bring me into the chapter. Hey, Ville, did I tell you I'm back active? We gotta talk about that on the side. All right, let me share this screen. Because now I'm thinking about there's another play I want to show y'all too. All right, King Kobe, here we go. All right, which angle we want to look at this from? Can we see from the end zone? Let's look at it from the end zone first. He's about to Euro that boy. Give me that. Ooh. Hold on. Let's look at it and see what the lineman seen. Oh. He got him off balance. He got him off balance with the Euro step. Oh. And with Cam Ward steady dropping, you're not gonna get him. Hold on, let me go back. No, that was. Let's look at it from the sideline view. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you this too. One of the a player that isn't getting a lot of love, but is being consistent on the field is Dylan Horton. You see him down there, number 92, and it's some good coverage too. He probably was gonna have to go right here, but Aziz is right here. Speed. Peaches coming down. Yeah, that was gonna be a busted play. I like listening to it from TV version.
play action on 1st and 10, caught from behind, and Daniil Hunter off the.
Yeah. Yep, creeping up. Yeah, he is. And footwork is that footwork is crazy. Nico Porter boys in the hood want to see a dead body. Say when CJ telling stories, especially about his dad during post game press, we usually go on winning streaks. Huh. And I'm gonna show you. There's one more play that I wanted to show. Where is it? I think it's this. Y'all give me 1 second. I think this is it. Let me see. This is it. This is gonna be the last one, y'all. Oh shoot. This is gonna be the last one. Cause I gotta show this. I briefly touched on EJ Speed, but I'm gonna talk about that. I got that saved for something. I got something else coming up about EJ Speed. I talked with him after the game though. For as much as Nick Caley has been dogged this season, and they've dogged him a lot. He has been dogged a lot. This was an amazing play call. This is an amazing play call, especially against an over pursuing defense. Look at that misdirection. Who is that going in motion? I gotta look at it from this way. Oh, that's Hutch. Hutch going in motion. This is the type of plays that CJ loves to run, and that Nick Caley is gonna have to. Nick Caley is gonna have to do more of. Look at it from a sideline view. This is what, and this is why DJ Benjamin from ESPN was asking Caley about using motion and how it can help, because Xavier Hutchinson coming in motion, and the fake handoff right here, play action, whatever you want to call it, it gets gets the entire defense rolling one way. This is actually a play that Sean McVay would run out in Los Angeles. Look at that. Also, a play that they probably ran at USC for Woody Marks, because they know how effective of a pass catcher he is out of the back of the end zone. So, and what also isn't being talked about on this, Woody Marks is wide open. So yes, CJ made the correct play, but Christian Kirk is also in position right here, right? But of course, we know that is he made the best decision. Ain't nothing you can do about that. All right, so watch it. This is from a TV perspective.
The touchdown.
Stroud on the rollout. Marks has it into the end zone. Touchdown. Here.
Let me tell you something about that. That was the Texans' first red zone touchdown this season. Texas had been in the red zone 5 times prior, came up empty. Got in the red zone that time, That was their first red zone touchdown of 2026 or 2025, excuse me, in 6 tries. Their first. So Tay says Kaylee needs to get those damn cyclones spinning. I like that. I like that. Brandon makes a great point. I had a feeling the offense would start slow, but slowly getting the hang of it this season as it progressed. Yep. uh yeah, Hutch was in motion. It's up and down. It's starting to be more good than bad now. Yeah, so um I look at it, I look at it like this. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get up off here. Um this game against the Ravens should be a game where you do as much as you can to get a good feeling going into the bye week, but open that offense up some more because you're not worried about who's on the other side. You're worrying about implementing these plays during real game time action. So it doesn't matter who's on the other side. Hey, look, we want to run this play. We don't care who over there. This is the play we want to run. Let's see if it's going to work, right? And if and let's try it so we could have a point of reference when it's time to come back in week 14 and we want to use this play again, or something that we can just throw in there and say we got this in our back pocket. What did Via say? See, they put the ball on Marks perfectly, but Marks also shows some wheels around the edge. He reminds me of my wife's driving. He accelerates through the turn. I'm gonna tell Randa what you said too. I'm gonna tell her what you said. uh Tay. Okay. Tay, were you here when I was talking earlier about fantasy football? Because Matthew Golden's on my fantasy football team too. He starts. And when I seen him do that spin, I said, "What are you doing, my guy? This isn't the UT. You're not playing in the SEC. This ain't the Big 12, my boy. This ain't U of H. Hey, man, this is, bro, they will take you out. And how, boy, if you'd have went out and I didn't get that last pass that you got in overtime, oh, smoke in the city. You are right. Tay, well, that boy would have lost me that fantasy football game. I know some people who know some people who know his people who know him. I'd have bet, hey, tell Tay, I'm sorry, tell God dang it, now Golden. I said, stop doing that stupid shit. You see Tyreek clapping and laughing as they cart him off. Hell yeah, he know. Listen, let me tell you, look, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get up out of here. And you know why he was laughing, Tay? You know why Tyreek was clapping and laughing as they carted him off the field? Because he's like, I ain't gotta be I ain't gotta be in this bum ass situation no more. I ain't gotta listen to Mike McDaniel's sorry ass try to motivate me when I halfway listened to him. I was dumb as hell for ever saying that Tua is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. This dude he can barely give me the ball. Hey, but guess what? They still gotta pay me. And he going through a divorce. Well, you know how many women he finna have come take care of him? He was happy. No more practicing. All I gotta do is rehab. Then I can rehab from the house because I got it like that. What? Tyreek Hill is nothing but a milder version of Antonio Brown, bro. That's it. He's just a milder version. He's not as extreme as Antonio Brown, but Tyreek Hill has a lot of Antonio Brown in him. Can I say that? And I ain't pausing nothing in 2025, y'all. So I'm not gonna say pause. He has a lot of AB ways in his system, and I don't know who helps keep him under control, but they keep him under control better than Antonio Brown acts. And so Yeah, Tay, you be laughing too if you know your check wasn't gonna be late. And you getting a divorce, and you live in Miami, and you know you're gonna have some something come through on a consistent basis. Maybe 2 or 3 come through. Because you know when you got that type of money, you making that type of money, you can have 2 or 3 of them at the time. They don't care. They just want to be there. I mean, hell, Neil got 4 girlfriends. Neil has 4 girlfriends. You think they're all there because they love do 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 do. Anyway, you think they all there? You think all Neo girlfriends there because they love him? Because they think he can sing? Hell no. It's about what they can get. I don't even know. Tay, you always see Tay. See what you done done. See what you done done, Tay. Sorry. Show the play with Woody. Not a man. Look, hey, only cause it's you, Bel Air Trey, baby. That's my guy. Look, just the name alone. Just the name alone, maybe. Okay. I gotta go find it. Y'all give me a second. I don't know if I can find it right now. I need the quarter, at least the quarter in the down in the distance. Let me see. Block it. Let's see. All right, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Somebody got it? Somebody could tell me where it is. Yeah, he probably ain't getting traded back to the West Coast. What's up, Doc? When he realized he can't tell any of them practice, so tired. Exactly what I done did. Hey, Bel Air Trey, baby. Hey, man, you gotta find it for me, and then I'll run the play. I just don't know where it is. Plus, I gotta get ready to get up out of here because I think I gotta head over to practice. Man, I sure appreciate it. Sure feel good to be back, y'all. It sure feel good to be back. Big Sarge, I'm out.
I'm a big Sarge.